Well, welcome to this webinar on what is SAM.GOV by Michelle A. Wilson. She is the president of Rock Creek Business Systems. This programming is offered to you as part of the spring 2023 cohort of the VSU Center for Entrepreneurship's Minority Small Business Launch Center. I am the director of the center, Dr. Patrice Perry Rivers, and I am happy that you are here with us today. I would like to share with you a very brief video about our programming so that in case you are new to the Minority Small Business Launch Center, you can find out about what we have to offer. Well, our video is buffering today. This is actually the first time that that's happened. I'm actually going to stop the video and then I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our programming. And then I'll send you a link to the video if you are in fact interested in finding out more. But our project is an entrepreneurship pre-accelerator. And we did this or not launch this program so that we could try to increase the entrepreneurship participation rate of minorities and the performance of early stage firms in the Richmond metropolitan statistical area. Since we started this programming in July 2021, we have grown to service a large part of Virginia, including Northern Virginia, via partnership with the Virginia MBDA. And we work with some businesses that are also in the Hampton Roads market that are outside of the Richmond metro area. It shows that there was just a need for support services and technical assistance for minority enterprises, and we're very happy to offer those. Our programming offers business development, training, and an array of services to current and prospective business owners to help them launch and scale, including a fall and a spring cohort of training with live and pre-recorded sessions that can help you with various aspects of your business. We are very fortunately supported by an array of regional partners, including chambers of commerce, entrepreneurship support organizations, municipalities, banks, credit unions, the SBA, the SBSD, other higher ed institutions, and more. Our grantor is Go Virginia. Go Virginia is a statewide initiative to foster private sector growth and job creation through state incentives for regional collaboration. We are funded by the Region 4, which is the Richmond Metro Council. We were very fortunate to, in July of 2021, receive $453,000 from the governor's office, and the programming and the funding is implemented through the Department of Housing and Community Development to offer the Minority Small Business Launch Center and the various training programs that we provide through the VSU Center for Entrepreneurship. We also received $238,500 in cash and in-kind match funding from various entrepreneurship support organizations, private funders, and others from across the region. There is a certification program that is a self-paced online certification that you can take advantage of. It is called our Pro Small Business Launchpad certificate. That is an important certificate for you to consider completing because it is a gateway to several of our other funding opportunities, including our seed funding grant. And it is the gateway for you to be able to participate in our pitch competitions. It allows you to go all the way from conceptualizing your business idea and assessing whether or not you have the right mentality or expectations about entrepreneurship before you go into it, all the way to developing your business model, identifying your target market, and creating financial statements. And so it's a really worthwhile program for you to go through. And then we also offer a program through Startup Virginia. They offer a certification program. It's a very reputable entity, and you're able to watch a series of videos from which you can take notes from your business model validation all the way again to commercialization. If you have not yet enrolled in the Minority Small Business Launch Center or know people who would like to enroll, then please encourage them to do so by going to minoritysmallbusinesslaunchcenter.com, and then you can choose the various resources that you may have interest in. So I just thought I would share what the video would share with you, with me explaining everything to you orally, and we look forward to continuing to help you guys. And so now I'd like to welcome Miss Michelle Wilson to speak with you about SAM.GOV registration. SAM.GOV is extremely important for those of you who have an interest in doing business with the federal government. And she's going to walk you through the process that you would be able to employ if you'd like to do business with the federal government. Ms. Wilson, I'm going to transfer everything over to you. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you so much, and good morning. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, awesome. So as Patrice said, I'm with Rock Creek Business Systems, and it's my pleasure to talk with you all this morning about SAM.gov. Before I jump into the presentation, I was wondering if the participants wanted to, would mind sharing their names and kind of a little about your background and what you hope to learn this morning.
Hi, I can share.
Hi, Jackie.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Sorry. Hi, good morning. My name is Jackie. I moved from California in December 2019. And in 2020 is when I decided to start my business. It's a Vega agency. We do like logos, website designs, social media management, and also we have partnerships with a print shop, so we are able to be doing printing large and small. And I really excited to be connected with the different government agencies. I was part of the My Henrico Academy, and I'm part of the ambassadors there. And I think I got connected with you all just through the internet, researching some of the different communities that I could join. Since I am a new woman in business, I wanted to be able to make sure I'm following the steps and getting the right certifications to be able to perform in the market. So I'm really excited to learn about the presentation and continue with my entrepreneurship journey.
Wonderful.
Can you all hear me as well?
Yes.
My name is Lakeisha. I just started my business in February. I have a doula and childbirth education business. So I'm not really sure if there are any federal government opportunities for that, but still interested in learning about what's out there.
Okay, that's wonderful. We'll get to that. I think we can probably search for both of your sort of areas. Childbirth is interesting, particularly when you're talking about Native Americans and grants and some other things. But so let's get started. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about what is the System for Award Management, which is SAM. We're going to go into a little bit about the SAM.gov background, how SAM.gov used in federal contracting, what information is collected in SAM.gov, the login registration, the SAM registration, and then we're going to have some fun and search for some opportunities. And then lastly, we'll touch on just a couple of pitfalls just to be aware of. Okay, so what is SAM.gov? SAM stands for the System for Award Management, and it is an official website of the United States government. There is no cost, it is free. I'm gonna repeat that over and over again. It is a free website. Their hope is to have a single login to navigate all of the entire federal award lifecycle from start to finish. Today, you can use the SAM website to register your business so that you can do business with the government. You can update, renew, and check the status of your entity registration. You can get a unique entity ID. You can search for your entity registration as well as exclusion records. You can search for assistance. There are a bunch of websites that have gone away, and we'll touch base on that, but CFDA, wage determination, contract opportunities. You can run contract data. You can get all kinds of data on whoever is registered on SAM.gov. You can view and submit bio-preferred and service contract reports. So bio-preferred is like, okay, if you are a small business owner and you clean, for example, you're going to let them know what type of products you're using, so that they're aware that they're organic and they're not going to be harmful to the people in the offices. And lastly, you can access publicly available data, and you can do data extracts and, system accounts. We talked about the fact that SAM is free. I'm going to repeat that over and over again. There are a lot of organizations that charge a fee, and they usually extract data from SAM. So why not just use SAM instead of paying a fee? Some of them are good, like govwin.com. I actually like that website, but I'm not signed up right now because you just kind of get tired of giving them $60 a month for no reason when you know that they're just pulling the data from SAM. So just a little background information. There is right now, the government created something called the Integrated Award Environment, and it facilitates the entire award process. And it combines multiple online systems, including SAM.gov. And these are the systems that you use to register, look for opportunities, capture contract performance. That's a big deal. You want to view your contract data. All of the listings are there. The legacy systems have been incorporated into this integrated award environment. And when it's all complete, you'll be able to seamlessly leverage all of this information into from a single unified experience. So like I mentioned, some of the legacy systems that have been decommissioned, the Federal Awardee Performance and Integrity Information System, that's now a part of SAM.gov, Federal Biz Opportunities, which is what we use to search. Oh my God, when they got rid of FBO.gov, I sent like a lengthy letter because I was like, why are you getting rid of this? But I actually now like SAM.gov. There's a catalog for federal domestic assistance. That's in SAM.gov. The wage determination online, that's in SAM.gov. The federal procurement data systems reports, all of that is now in SAM.gov. So there's a lot of information there. So how is SAM.gov used in federal contracting? Very simple. You cannot do business with the United States government without having an active registration in SAM.gov, period, in the story. All entities, and that's individuals, people, or organizations who want to do business with the government must register in SAM.gov. Businesses and grant or loan recipients, in order to receive those federal funds, and I'm thinking about that you're focusing on childbirth, you need to be registered in SAM.gov to get federal funds and apply for grants. That's going to be there are child related grants out there. SAM.gov is used to manage all government contracts, including both domestic and international. So international companies can also register to do business with the government. Entity registrations must be renewed every single year. Federal buyers and contracting officers, they go into SAM.gov before they award any contracts, before they pass out any money. They check SAM.gov to make sure that you are a legitimate business. And again, there is no fee to register in SAM.gov. There are multiple organizations, legitimate companies that will help you create and renew your SAM.gov registrations for a small fee. I do not recommend that. I think it's to every entity's advantage to register yourself. And that's because you need to understand what you're agreeing to. When you're trying to do business with the government, you need to understand what all of that language means. And you need to get used to the government verbiage. They say things in a very specific way, and it's consistent across the board. So just make sure that you register yourself. And it'll take about an hour and a half the first time, but then once you renew, it gets down to be maybe a half an hour or so. Okay, so what information is collected in SAM.gov? So first you have to have a unique entity identifier. Now this is formally a DUNS number. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Dun & Bradstreet, but it was a third-party organization that registered all companies that wanted to do business with the federal government. The government essentially got rid of this organization's third-party way of registering. So, and actually it was April the 4th in 2022, the federal government stopped using DUNS numbers to uniquely identify entities. Now entities doing business with the government just need that UEI, which is what we call in SAM.gov, no third party. It's a 12-character alphanumeric value. It's assigned and managed and owned by the federal government. The federal government does use a third-party organization to validate your organization's legal business and address. So after you enter in all your information in SAM.gov, a third party goes out and says, yes, this is actually a valid company. Your taxpayer identification number, you're going to need that. Now, your taxpayer identification number should come off of your most recent tax return if you have your own business. Now, some foreign entities don't pay employees within the US, do not need to have a TIN. Your TIN is your employee identification number. It's assigned by the Internal Revenue Service. Some sole proprietors may use their own Social Security number. I do not recommend that. I strongly encourage you to obtain a free EIN from the IRS and use that as your taxpayer identification number, SAM.gov. You're going to be assigned a cage code. It's going to be a unique identifier. And then you're going to enter your representations and certifications. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We're talking about your NIACs and then your FAR. And then there's this validation process that we talked about of the entity uniqueness, and that happens via a third party. Okay, so when you first start, you're going to log into SAM.gov and you're going to navigate to SAM.gov, and we're going to do all of this. That's the fun part. You want to select sign in, and the button at the top corner, you accept it. After you accept, the system is going to redirect you to login.gov. And when you log in, you create your user ID and you sign in, and then you're going to be in a workspace. So when you start your new entity registration, you start it in the workspace. You can create a new entity, or in my case, I'll be updating. You select start the registration. You're going to review all your information before you start. You're going to select continue, and then you're going to complete and submit this online registration. It's going to take your first time about an hour and a half. But then after that, it gets to be pretty quick. I see I have one comment. Oh, okay, that's Patrice. I see she entered the EIN information in the chat, which is wonderful. Thank you, Patrice. Okay, so let's jump into completing an entity registration in SAM.gov. And each, like I said, entity is the word that you want to get accustomed to. Yes, it's a business, but they call it an entity because it can be an individual or it can be a small company or a large company. So you select your type of entity. If you're registering in SAM.gov to conduct business with the government through contracts, then you would select, I want to be able to bid on federal contracts. Some people just want to register in SAM.gov to apply for grants and loans and financial assistance. So there are three avenues. One is you just want a unique entity ID because maybe you want to be a subcontractor. Two, you want to be a prime. You want to go after work yourself. So you're going to register as being able to bid on government contracts. Or three, maybe all you want to do is apply for grants and loans and financial assistance. All of that has to happen through SAM.gov. You're going to complete the core data section. So you're going to validate your UIE information on that page. You're going to enter your business information, which is your TIN. You're going to select a marketing partner identification number. That's you're going to need that every time you log in. It's basically like a pen, for your ATM card. That's how I think about it. It's an electronic signature for your unique entity ID. You're going to enter your cage code. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. The government's going to assign one to you. You're going to enter general information like your business type, your organization structure, all of that information. Do you have partners? Are you limited liability? All of that stuff goes in the general information. Then you're going to enter financial information. Very important. If you are awarded a government contract, your banking information needs to go in here, and guess what? That's where your payment goes. It's not on a case-by-case basis. Whatever is in SAM, whatever you enter in your banking account information in SAM.gov, that is where your money will go. You want to answer some executive compensation questions. It's always important, if you are a woman-owned small business, you need to be the highest paid person in your organization. That's a big deal. You can't call yourself a woman-owned small business if you're paying other employees more than you're making. You want to provide public search authorization so other people can search and look you up. And this is important because once you register, you'll start getting people reaching out to you and saying, hey, I'm looking for a small business that can do cleaning. I'm looking for a small business that can do computers. A lot of government, a lot of the military branches, they have what they call family reunification programs, right? So they will, when a spouse is deployed for some period of time, the military will facilitate a program to help strengthen the family bonds. And they're often looking for childcare in all of these situations because they want the children to connect with the family member that's been gone. They want, everyone to get together and have fun. So they're always looking for childcare. And then, so you want to complete your assertions. Now, this is your NIACS. So what services do you provide? There are hundreds of NIACS codes. You may be a PSC, which is Professional Services Council. All of that information is used to help the federal buyers weed through who they're looking for who's the best person to fulfill whatever need they have. So you can enter as many NIACs as you want. And then you want to complete your representations, which comprises the Federal Acquisition Regulation, which is the FAR codes. There are several FAR codes. You go through a list and you agree to them. The big one for me, since I'm in IT, is do you get any of your products from China? So there's a FAR regulation that if you say, yes, I get some stuff from China, you pretty much are not going to get any Department of Defense contracts. And then you want to complete your points of contacts. Very important, because when it's time to renew, or if there's an issue with your registration, this is who the email goes to. You want to make sure that you click submit it, because honestly, after an hour and a half, you might think you're done and you don't click submit, and it's just sitting there. What will happen when you click submit is you will see a message similar to this, where it will have all green checks on all of the areas that have to be submitted. And then you wait 7 to 10 days before your application is completed. Okay, so now let's go have some fun. The federal government is open for business, okay? So this is what SAM.gov looks like. So I'm going to navigate now to that page. Can you guys still see my website, or do I need to share this again?
We just see the presentation.
Okay, so let me, I'm going to stop sharing and then reshare. Here we go. How about now? Can we see SAM.gov?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So this is I'm logging in, and it's saying to me on April 4th, the unique identifier used, we're no longer supporting the DUNS number, we're only using the UEI. And we discussed that. So I'm going to click do not show this message again and click OK. So DUNS number was used for as long as SAM.gov has been around. That's what we used, was DUNS. And they got rid of that. And they have that message there recurring for about a year, so people understand that it's gone away. It was a big deal. So what we see here is our SAM.gov landing page. There'll be messages, so they let us know that they got attacked by some malicious emails, and the entity validation process is that third-party process that we talked about. So this is the website. We are not in the workspace yet. I can check my entity status, but I'm going to go ahead and log in right now. And I'm going to accept this. And so my information is filled in because I have an account. I'm going to sign in, and it always asks for third-party validation. So I'm going to enter in my information here. Wait. So they send me a text message with my unique code. I'm going to submit it. Okay, so this is the workspace. And you see here at the top that workspace is underlined. You could be in notifications, requests, or you can sign out. But once you log in, you're in the workspace. You see here that I have one active entity registration. Now I can get started and register a new entity, which I'm not going to do, or I could renew my current entity, which I will be doing after we get off the phone, because as you can see, my entity registration expires on May 8th. So I have just about a month, and it takes time to process. So I started getting emails a month ago saying, oh, your entity registration is about to expire. It takes them 12 weeks. But fortunately, the contracts that I have coming up will renew before this expires. So I'm in good shape. I'm following a few contracts. These security escorts, logistics and security cameras and things like that. You can do that here. Once you're logged in and you have an account, you can follow. Oh, I'm sorry. So let's have some fun and do some searching. Okay. All right. So I am actually going to go back to the SAM.gov. Now that I'm logged in and I'm on my workspace, I'm going to go back to SAM.gov. And the way you look for contract opportunities, there's data here, wage determinations, the hierarchy, the assistance, entity information, and then the entity reporting. I could also do grants.gov. So I clicked on contract opportunities, and you see we can easily jump to grants.gov as well. I always do an advanced search, always, unless I know exactly what I'm looking for. I typically come here once or twice a month just to see what's out there. So you can search on keywords. You can search on organizations. So let's say Millennium Challenge Corporation. What do they have available? They have something in Nepal. They have a Belize technical support. Let's see, what about TSA? TSA is one of my clients. I'll get rid of this one. They have some law enforcement initiatives that are available. Let's see, the Department of Treasury. I can just say Treasury. Treasury Department. I'll get rid of TSA. And they have a little bit of everything. Gloves. I'm gonna move this. There we go. General property, claims management, lots of good stuff there. Dates, that's a big one. So response is basically the proposal. When is the proposal due? I never look for updated date, because if something was updated yesterday, but the proposal is due tomorrow, I'm not going to have a chance to compete for it. So I always look for search on response date. And typically I look for, I think, how long is it going to take me to write a proposal? A lot of people have standard proposals ready to go. I need a month. So I would search for 1 month. What's due in the next month? And there's actually a count. I don't know if you guys can see, but there is a count that shows you how many opportunities are available based on what you have selected. Okay, so it's showing 1 of 25 of 10,281 opportunities. That's everything that is due in a month. So you got to imagine, if I were to search for the next 3 months, this number goes up to 11,000, or currently 11,000 opportunities. You can, but you can't, no one wants to search through 11,000 opportunities. So I would say 1 month, and then I would look at the notice type. So some of these are going to be special notices. You almost have to be looking for a special notice. Sources sought, that's a good one, because what the government does is they will put out sources sought that says, we only want people who are interested in this contract. So if you respond to the sources sought and you have a good proposal, they're only going to come back to the people who submitted responses to their sources sought, which is typically how it works. So that's actually a good thing. I most likely look for combined award notices means that it's already been awarded and you just want to see who won what, so maybe you were following a contract and you just want to see who won that. I typically do a combined synopsis and solicitation. So these are active contracts. So what I'm looking at now are active contracts. They're not sources sought and they're all due next month. And what we see here is that there are 4,000 of them, okay? And they're all over the place. Chillers, lots and lots and lots of equipment. You can literally make a living just providing equipment to the federal government. Literally, you can just, they want everything, furniture, coils, you'll see Band-Aids, lots of, parts. Here's air compressor parts, enclosures, lots and lots of things. You can make a nice living just providing equipment to the federal government. Product and service information, those are your NIACs, okay? So this is what you would have specified in SAM.gov, but obviously you can search on any NIAC. It doesn't have to be your NIAC. So we can search on, let's say, professional or scientific. That's typically where I go because what they're looking for are persons. They're looking for bodies. They're looking for people, temporary workers. And that's also a good way of doing things. You can work with the federal government. You hire other people who you contract out to the federal government. You don't do the work. You hire professionals and you get a cut of their salaries. It's almost like being a broker. But when you operate that way, you do have to think about workers' comp. Whenever you hire people, you have to have workers' comp. And typically general liability as well. So educational services, that's where you're going to find some childcare. They also have professional services is where I would look for like website management, communications, graphics. I would look in that broad category. Professional, scientific, technical services. The PSC are, they're sort of subcategories in the larger category. So we could search in there. I like to just leave it at 54 because that gives me a broad sense of what they're looking for. And let's see, now we're down to 102. And some of these are highly scientific, genome sequencing. That's gonna be, that's gonna be a company, I don't know. I don't even think Microsoft. Web-based training course material, web-based training course maintenance. That's probably something I will actually apply for, honestly. So I may list this as, this is due April 21st. So I may open this up and click follow. And when I go back to my workspace, then I can see what all I'm following. I like anything related to website maintenance, my team can do. Let's see, Travis Air Force Base Clinical Research Support Services. That is probably either staffing. Oh, here they're looking for a woman-owned small business. Let's see, research and development grant, responsible for assisting the execution of medical research requirements accomplished through clinical studies. So that's going to be like a lot of admin. So all of the documentation is going to be listed under the solicitation. So, and what's really great is people ask questions. You have an opportunity to ask questions. And it's all going to be here under this solicitation. You just click on it and you can review it. Let's see, let's go back. So we are looking at, now let's go down to set-asides. So for set-asides, we can say total small business, partial small business, 8A. 8A is a big program. So we are WOSB, we're actually EDWOSB certified, which is economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business. We're next going to pursue 8A because then you get people coming to you. 8A is a program that you age out of, I think, after 7 years. And it's a way for small businesses to compete. And you can own, after you have to be certified in 8A, and the contracts kind of come to you much, much easier. You can be hub zone, which is a hub zone means that you are in, there's a map, a hub zone map that you can, I can show you where it is, and you can enter in the address and it will show you where all the hub zones are. If your business is there and you employ people who reside in a hub zone, then you can get a hub zone certification. That's also through the SBA. The SBA certifies you as economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, woman-owned small business, 8A, hub zone. That's all done through the Small Business Administration. That's SBA.gov. Service disabled, veteran-owned small business. But let's see, we have woman-owned small business and we have economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business. Always check to see what they have for economically disadvantaged women-owned small businesses. And typically it's nothing, you know, so let's see if I get rid of this professional, then there are 2. And that's 2 out of, what was that first number? 11,000. So there's not a whole lot, even though they're there, there's not often a whole lot. This is maintenance and repair of clothes dryers. This is at Fort Jackson. And yeah, let's add in woman-owned small business. Okay, so we've gotten a few more. So we have 202, which is a lot, that are all due next month. Most of these are parts. So I will probably, and I think I might have shared this with Patrice or something, like when I'm done with the contracts that I have now, which are so intense, I'll probably just be a government supplier. So as a woman-owned small business, you can provide circuits, you can provide couplers, you can provide, you know, all these parts, seals, fans, most of these mortise, connectors, switches, valves, a lot of these are going to be just straight parts. But some of them are going to be, specific to, you know, something else. This is the clinical research at Travis Air Force Base that we were just looking at. And I'm probably going to take a closer look at this to see what they wanted. Moving services, maintenance of washers and dryers. Again, a lot of parts. Let's see. There will be others, lots and lots of parts. No. Okay. Cattle guards. And it changes daily, you know, so one day you'll come up here. This is grand jury and this is court reporting. This is a good one for a woman-owned small business. So you're going to take depositions. And this is in Fargo, North Dakota, which doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be there. You just have to find someone who can get there and do the work. Okay, so let's take a look. Now let's expand this. So we've done woman-owned. Now let's do total small business and the count will jump up. So now we're at 2,000. So of the 11,000 that were due this month, 2,000 are set aside for small business, right? Roughly 2,000. And again, it's all over the place. So this one, bifocals, antennas, cases, ammunition, lots and lots of these medical services, lots of medical services. I would take this down a notch and I would look for my NIACs. I would limit this by NIACs. So I would go back. This is my, so you could do administrative, you can do multiple. I would say professional, I would say administrative. And let me see, you can do retail. And let's say, so for childcare, it's probably going to be under healthcare and social assistance. Let's see what we have. Statistical production, modernization, lead abatement, non-personal services, occupational health services, solicitation, Dietrich, maintenance, environmental management. So they want, this would interest me because it's server, it's a server upgrade and I'm in IT. So I'm just gonna follow this and it'll appear in my workspace. They're looking for someone to set up, install 2 PowerEdge servers and a data rack. That's right up my alley. Let's see. Not abatement. Closed circuit TV, we do that as well. Document destruction, that's a big one. Lots of janitorial services. Behavioral health specialists. Let me just look for childcare. Go back. Childcare, 8 outpatient room registered nursing services. Single award provider standing.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Ms. Walton. So when you first register your business on SAM.gov and you pick like the specific, I guess, business code that your business does, so do you need to match what your business is and go after the contracts that are the same?
That's what you should do. I typically go broad, right? So let's say yours was websites, communications, graphics. I would expand that to include IT, anything computer related. And I would do that because sometimes the contracting offices don't necessarily understand what they're asking for. So they may list a website project under, you know, something random, IT or something. So I would, yeah, definitely narrow it down to what specifically you work on, but expand it, you know, just go at the highest level you can and out as wide as you can. You'd be very surprised what you land on. I'm gonna, before we're almost out of time, but I did want to, were there any other questions? I did want to show you grants.gov.
Yeah, so when you're doing the application, if you're a new business, do they ask for like your tax returns for your personal income, or if you're a new business because you don't really have income yet?
So they're not going to ask, so in SAM.gov, they're not going to ask for your tax returns. They are going to ask for your tax identifier number, which is your EIN. So you want to register your business with the IRS. Now, once you have been in business for like a year or two or something, and you try to get your WOSB, which is your woman-owned small business certification, they will ask for your tax returns. So this is grants.gov, and it's fantastic. They have a lot of, I actually like it better than SAM. They have a lot of information up here. It's really easy to search. This is similar to what FedBiz Ops used to look like before they got rid of it. But you can search for, let's see, you can search for grants. And let's say you're not a business, but let's say you're an individual, and you can also search as a small business. And then you can look for the category. You can say education. I'm sure they have something specific to children. Humanities, food and nutrition often covers children as well, because there are some children who are have issues getting food. So the National Science Foundation, I'm sorry, NIH has some grants. Let's see if we can search under childcare.
So do you not have to register for grants.gov if you're already registered with SAM.gov?
Exactly. So that's the whole point of SAM. They want it to be a clearinghouse, one location, and you can access everything else just with that one registration. All right, so you can apply for all the grants you want as long as you have that SAM.gov registration. And let me just show you kind of, I'll go to my workspace. And like if I click renew, here's my company. I'm not going to reset my MPIN because I'll never remember it. And it wants my MPIN. So I have to go find it. It's like a pin.
Yes.
And then I will update my company. That's why I haven't done it yet. But you see, so the unique entity ID, they assigned that. My cage code, Sam assigned that. My purpose of the registration is all awards. Like I said, some people just want a UIE because they want to apply for other things and they don't want any contracts. They just want a UIE. And then some people just want to apply for grants and get financial assistance. So my purpose though is all awards. Doing business as would be like if my name changed. And then my address. Eventually I want to have a hub zone office. So for my physical address, but yeah, this is bio-preferred reporting. They would ask me, these are contracts that I have in Wisconsin, and they want to know what I'm doing there. So I'm going to fill these out here so they know. And then the service contract, I don't do any of that stuff, but bio-preferred reporting I have to complete. Okay, let's see. So let's go to grants. I was looking for childcare. Female empowerment. That sounds like a lovely grant. Nurse education, cardiovascular, USAID. That's a big program. They have tons of grants. They have tons of contracts. They do work in Africa, all over the world. Let's see, competitive funding, low and admissions, Office of Elementary and Secondary Education, well-rounded education programs. Let's see.
Unknown call.
Okay. Residential secure staff services for unaccompanied children. So that's going to be with TSA. They need a lot of help with the children that are crossing the border alone. Nutrition, that's gonna involve children. Let's see, let's look for childbirth. USAID announcement for research, family-based perinatal health initiative. That's a grant. Let's see. Ghana, that's going to be a pregnant people, infant linked longitudinal surveillance. So that's going to be like a study. They're probably going to evaluate outcomes of some sort. Let's see, National Organization for Chronic Disease, Child, Newborn, and Maternal Health Project. Let's see, let me go to SAM.gov and I want to search for.
I have another question.
Yes.
Are there like workshops on how to create like a request for a proposal, or how to properly apply for like bidding, like what you should say your business can do so that whoever approves like the contracts sees that you're a good fit? Like, what are like the best practices for submitting to these contracts?
So each one is going to be different, but what you want to do is evaluate the solicitation. So let's take a look at a solicitation, and you want to address all of the concerns within the solicitation. So let me just go to a solicitation and let me just pick up. I wanted to find one that was for website development, so I know that they have them. Well, actually, let me go to my workspace because I think I was following one.
One of the things I think that we may be able to do, since Ms. Wilson obviously has a wealth of information that she can share with you guys, is that maybe the center will talk with her about the ability to provide some consultations, or to at least answer a few questions offline for some of you who have questions that she may not be able to answer during this time frame. Because I think that those of you guys who may have had other appointments, that we may need to go ahead and end this session. And then I think she's got so much information to offer us that maybe a grants.gov webinar is warranted independently. And I'm happy to have her answer any other questions. I'm thinking that since we're only 3 minutes beyond our time, maybe we could just answer a couple more questions if there are those before we end the session for today.
So Jackie, you're gonna read that solicitation. One of the things I wanted to do was just open a solicitation. The government's gonna list out everything that they want, right? And it's gonna be pages and pages and pages. And you're gonna read through it, and you wanna write a proposal that touches on every aspect of what we call a PWS, which is the performance work requirements, right? So the performance work statement. So you want to make sure that everything that they ask for, you respond to, and you talk about how you're going to do it. And they're going to evaluate your proposal based on how closely the services that you are able to provide align with what they need, and B, the price, right? The price point. And then any of the set asides. So if they're looking for a woman-owned small business and you're the only woman-owned small business that applies, and your proposal makes sense, then, you have a good shot at that. There's a group called SCORE, which will help with proposal writing. There's all kinds of books. I don't personally like the books. I like SCORE, and I like, there are a lot of online resources for how to write good government proposals. Let's see, there's one other thing that I wanted to share with you guys, and that is to just be careful, sort of the pitfalls of signing up with SAM.gov. I mean, you have to sign up with SAM.gov to do business with the government, and as I said. But can you see my screen here? And then I'm going to let you all go.
No, this is great. Yes.
This is an email that I received, and you look at the who it's from, right? S7SY91, which is my cage code, and that's public, at info@changesupdatessamrp.org. That's so random, you know, but this is someone saying, hey, they want it to look official, right? It's time to renew. Click this process to begin. And essentially what they would do is charge me to renew my SAM.gov. This is going to happen more a lot, you know, and it's trickery and it's annoying, but you just have to be careful because it almost looks like it came from the SBA, which it did not. It's from a nefarious person who went into this, you know, as I said, with the SBA, all of that data is public and you can extract all of that data. So they're downloading the data and then just sending out, you know, hundreds of emails to see it's phishing, you know, who they can hook. So that was the only other thing I wanted to share with you guys. And this was fun, Patrice. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I would love to come back because I can do this all day long. I've learned a lot. And I wish I had more time.
No, this is wonderful.
But you can email me.
No, and then for those,
I'm sorry. I might have lost you, Patrice. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Okay. So anyway, we can talk more. And you know, Jackie, there's a lot of IT stuff out there. There's a lot of communications contracts, a lot of website contracts, graphics. I know, for example, what's the organization? Oh God. They work with animals. They hire a lot of graphic artists and they're almost all consultants. They're almost all contractors. Childcare, like I said, is a big thing. And in terms of grants, you can find grants specifically related to childbirth, because it's getting a lot of attention now because since COVID, mothers, the mortality rates, you know, giving birth is, you know, it's shot through the roof for some reason. I don't know what's going on in hospitals, but anyway. Thank you.
We would just like to thank you so much for sharing all this wonderful wisdom with all of us. And this has been a very, very, very information-packed and very useful webinar for you guys. Please note that the link for you to be able to rewatch this video will be made available on our training website for the Minority Small Business Launch Center Spring 2023 cohort. I'll go ahead and just put that in chat for you guys so that you guys will remember that is a place where you can go and rewatch this. Please look for it by this weekend. And thank you so much, Ms. Wilson, for this wonderful information. And I look forward to working with you again in the future. If you guys are looking for more resources to help you with your business, excuse me, then remember you can always visit our website at minoritysmallbusinesslaunchcenter.com, and you can take advantage of the training, the resources, even the grants that we have available while they are still available and while we have the funding to assist you. Thank you so much, everyone, and everyone have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.